Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming back to join us for another Webinar Wednesday. I'm really excited about today's topic because we're going to be talking about something I hear constantly from small business owners to creators to nonprofit leaders, basically anyone who's doing anything creative at all to promote themselves, their business, whatever, right? The thing that I am hearing constantly is that editing is the part of video that slows everything down, and sometimes it just stops it altogether. Am I right? If you're here right now, I'm just willing to bet that you feel this pain. The filming part, yeah, that's totally doable. You hit record, you get the footage, but once it's time to edit, things just stall out. Files will sit on your computer or worse, on your phone, and they're gonna take up all that precious space that you need to film your little niece's birthday party, right? Then the projects pile up and the video just doesn't get finished and never gets posted. If that sounds like you, then you're not alone. Don't worry. This is a problem a lot of people deal with. And it's exactly what we're going to talk about today. This session is about why that is happening and, more importantly, how to fix it in a way that is not only realistic but sustainable. Because here's the thing, if you can't do it repeatedly, then it's probably not worth your time. So let's make it worth your time. The real problem with editing, it's that editing isn't necessarily hard, it's heavy. What do I mean by that? I mean, it's not your fault. No, seriously, listen to me. It's not your fault. Okay, seriously, it's true, because you're not really slow because you're bad at it. Well, okay, you might be a little bad at it, but the truth is you're bad at it probably because you're doing something that's too hard for where you are at right now, okay? And it's slowing down the editing process for you. Editing is a thing that asks you to make a lot of decisions all at once. You need to know where to cut, what to keep, how should it look, how should it sound, whether it's good enough to even make into a video in the first place. That weight is what causes people to hesitate, procrastinate, or avoid opening the project altogether. Maybe you had a really great idea, but then when you started to look at all the pieces you collected, you just can't see the picture to put it all together. It's okay. Again, you are not alone. In fact, let's talk about the psychology behind this whole thing. If it feels complicated, we tend to avoid it. You can totally trust me. I have a minor in psychology, so I'm putting my college degree to good use. It was a long time ago, but it still applies. This part is really important. When something feels complicated or open-ended, our brains just naturally push it off. It's not laziness, it's human behavior, okay? So again, stop being so hard on yourself. Editing does this thing where it creates decision fatigue. Every small choice you have to make, that just drains a little bit of energy from you. Perfection adds to that pressure. So when you feel like you really have to get it done right and you really have to do it well, that makes it even harder. I can tell you personally, one of the hardest projects that I have are ones that are for my own business. Because all of a sudden I start thinking about, oh, are people gonna know that I'm a good editor if I don't put a lot of work into this? If it's not perfect, are they gonna think that I'm bad at this? Like, can I just do a simple basic video, or does it have to be really complicated and all these different things have to be added to it? So that's the kind of problem that perfection creates. It makes you not want to even do the project at all. The longer that project stays unfinished, the less likely it's going to be that you're actually going to return to it and finish it. The pressure mounts, right? Every day that you wait a little bit longer, it's got to be that much better once you finally complete it, right? because you've given yourself this more time, or worse, you feel like the person that you're producing it for, whether that's for your boss or even for your own business and people that work with you are going to see that, you feel like the longer you've had to work on a thing, the better it should be. So when you put it off, you've built up all this time in your mind that you now have to compensate for and make really, really great video, or else what's the point, right? So when people say they don't have time to edit, usually what they mean is that editing, it just feels mentally exhausting. Trust me, I get this. I understand this so much. It really is exhausting. A full day of editing, whew, that can wear me out more than a day at the gym, let me tell you. So, what actually speeds up the editing process? How do you get to be able to produce that video fast without having to drive yourself crazy in the process? Well, it seems simple, but it's not, okay? Less decision making means faster editing. The less you put into trying to make it a perfect video, the easier it's going to be to produce the video. The fix isn't necessarily learning more tools or features. Maybe it's taking a workshop, but truly the fix is going to be reducing decisions. Fewer tools, fewer choices, repeatable process. That's the key. That's what you need to be able to get this work done. Simple edits move faster because they remove friction. And when that friction goes down, procrastination is going to go down with it. You know, let me give you a real world example from this morning. I was running around here like a chicken with my head cut off because I decided to change the location of the webinar. That one decision, it just turned everything to chaos. And it really reminded me of like what it was like working in news. For those of you that don't know, I spent 20 years in the traditional or legacy news business. Most of that time was spent in broadcast news, and every day was a rush to the finish. We had to make air, right? Even though I was in the digital department, made it even more complicated because we were constantly having to break the story first and fastest. And it required finding the simplest solution to the problem so that we could break the story faster than anyone else. That was the goal, right? If you've ever wondered about the name of this company, that's where it comes from. In news, you have to flip it quick. You don't have time to overthink. You just make decisions and move fast. So, all of this in mind, I'm now going to give you a little bit of a demonstration on some tools that I use that are very, very helpful and could be very helpful to you. Two different platforms that you can use to edit your video are Canva and DaVinci Resolve. Canva is going to be best utilized in the Pro version. It's an annual subscription and it's not cheap, but it is absolutely worth it if you're doing anything for your business creatively at all. So if you are literally doing anything, it will help you. Then you have DaVinci Resolve, which is really just going to be beneficial to you in the video editing space. The great thing about DaVinci Resolve is that they do have a free version that you can download, and for the average person, that's going to be enough. That's going to be what you're going to need, is that free version. They do have a lifetime subscription that you can purchase, the studio version, and it is definitely worth every single penny that you're going to spend. However, I understand sometimes you have to pick one or the other. If I were you, if you're trying to do basic video editing and you're looking to where to invest some money, I would go ahead and invest my money into Canva as opposed to DaVinci Resolve just for now, just because it has the most tools that you're going to be able to utilize to, again, edit the lowest lift video possible. So let me just real quick switch over to Canva, and I'll give you a little bit of a demonstration of what I am talking about. I have actually closed out my Canva window, so let's see here. Okay, so this is my Canva. And so if you want to create a video, the great thing about Canva is that they have gone ahead and made an investment in video just like every other platform is doing right now. And they have built out a more traditional video editing process. If you've ever used Canva to video edit in the past, you may have done it in the more clunkier way that they used to have. Now they have a little bit more of a streamlined process that is more like a traditional or classic linear video editing process. So if you go to the Create button, and let's say we want to do an Instagram reel, we want to select a video and we'll go to Instagram reel. Okay, so the great thing about Canva is that if you just want to maybe try to give something a little bit of a designed look, but you don't really have all that, you can check out their templates and you can go to their design section, and you see they have a lot of different options available for you. So, great for holidays, great for anything that you kind of just want a little generic look to. So maybe let's try this template here. As you can see, it is laid out here on a classic video editor timeline where you have the ability to add audio. So if you just select the add audio, you can now go and search through music, let's say inspirational upbeat. That's always a nice easy one. And you can play a preview. Song or video. And now we want to change out this text and say, go simple. Don't overcomplicate. Okay, so now we've got our video, we've got text, we've got music here, and we can add all these things in. Now we can actually drag and move this to make our text come in at a later point in the timeline, and say we don't want that long music lead in. So we just click and drag and make those little adjustments. Now you're like, oh, okay, that's great, but I'd like to use my own video. You can use, again, video stock footage that they have here available in Canva. So if you hit plus, you can go to stock videos, and you can search in here whatever you want. So say you want to have horses. I don't know why. Horses running. And then you could add a bunch of different clips in there, so you could shorten this up. Now, say we move down our little scene there, and let's say waterfall. Next, we're creating a pretty little nature video here, I think, maybe. All right, so now if we want to move these, we just click and drag those over. And now we can drag and have our text element go away. Now you see we've had the music change there, so we can make our scene change match up with our audio. we could then come and add a different scene on the beats. Let's say, tropical beach. Ooh, that sounds nice. I could stand for a little tropical beach action. All right, now let's get one more and then we'll call it sunset. Go back to our tropical beach, but with sunset. All right. So now, and you can just keep going and going and going, and then you've got yourself a nice pretty little video for whatever you're trying to do, and you could add more text on there, and you could end it with some sort of a graphic call to action. So if it's for your business, it could be something like, you know, if you're a travel agent, this would be a great video for you. If you're just wanting to say, you know, find the beauty in the world around you, I don't know, whatever you want to say, you can end your video like that. And it's been really easy to put that together. So this is an example of just like a simple, easy video that you can build. You could even add, you know, transitions between each of these. You can add more text. You can change the color palette to match your business, whatever you want to do. And there are a lot of different things available. You can even go to the Magic Media section and you can create your own B-roll. So let's say a woman dancing in a fun way on the beach. Okay. She is wearing a swimsuit. Okay, you could do whatever, right? So now we're going to, oh, I did an image. I wanted to do that as a video. So I'm going to cancel that and do video and say a woman dancing on the beach. She is wearing a swimsuit. Can't seem to type today. Okay, generate video, and it's gonna take like a minute or two. So while that is generating, again, we could come down here and mess around with our little video clip that we have created. This is going to be the simplest way for you to put together a video with a lot of different elements in it. You are going to see this very similar process available on things like Instagram's Edits app, the CapCut app, or any one of those apps where you can edit video on your phone. It's going to be very similar to this, and a lot of things are available and make it really easy for you to put the videos together, especially if they're on your phone. The problem that I have with those is that it doesn't allow you to do a lot of precision things. You kind of have to sit there with your fingers and, you know, do all this and that, and it gets a little hard to navigate around. So the great thing about Canva is that it does have a mobile version and a desktop version. So you could take your videos in from your phone and upload those in the mobile version, and then move over to a desktop and start editing the video in the desktop. And then once you're done, I don't know about you, but adding video to Instagram from desktop is a total pain. So I tend to like to do it from my phone. So what I'll do is take my completed Canva video, download that to my phone, and then upload that to Instagram. I do find, just a little side note tip, that is always best to natively post content as much as you possibly can on any platform that you are using, because it seems to, you know, do the best. If you're using third-party scheduling platforms and things like that, sometimes that can be complicated. Canva actually does have an integrated social scheduling platform available in it as well. So that is something that you could explore as well if you are trying to look for the easiest way to get content onto your social media platforms. So it looks like our little video is ready here. Look at that girl twirl. Oh my goodness, she's having such a good time. Let's put her in. Let's pop her in. Okay, so there we go. Look at that. That is not bad, y'all. I mean, for such a basic prompt, it didn't really give it a whole lot of like details. It did a pretty decent job coming up with something that's, you know, usable. Then at the very end, if you want to go ahead and fade out this music, just a little side note, you can fade it out here at the end. And they even have this beat sync option. So say you don't want to sync those up manually, you could just sync it up automatically, and it's going to go ahead and put it all. Right? Okay, cool. So there is a very simple, easy video that we built in a very, very, very short amount of time, and you can do that too. You can use your own footage. So if you're saying like, that's great, but I don't want to have just a bunch of stock images as my video, well, you can go to your upload section and you can pull whatever videos that you have created. So here's a video clip that we took. And if you double click on it, it lets you move it around there. And now that audio is kind of overlapping a little too loud over our music. So I'm just gonna turn this down low. Don't get rid of your natural sound audio, because there's this little weird thing that happens in our brain when we see a thing that should have sound and it doesn't. It just is kind of like a little, I don't know, a little itch, right? And you just get a little irritated by it. So leave the audio there. Just turn it down low, right? So you can have your own audio. You could put together these clips. Imagine that, you know, you went to an event or your business held an event. You could have all these little clips that you took, stitch them together very, very easily, and add some text onto it, add a graphic, maybe a find out about our next event by going to our website as a slide at the very end. And then you've got something that is really going to help do whatever you're trying to achieve on social media. All right, so I do want to show you a little project in DaVinci Resolve first before we go. Excuse me. All right, so the one thing that I find DaVinci Resolve to be exceptional at is when you have some precise audio work that you need to do. So this is an example, a video that we recently did where we had to create an introduction for this video. And I actually built the graphic in Canva, but matching up the music element or the sound element, that was hard. So you can see here on the timeline, this is the audio lines here at the bottom. And so when the graphics kick in, all right, so this allows me to move one frame at a time, so I can find where the ball hits the ground and put my bouncing sound there. And then in comes, again, we're going frame by frame here. Watching final ball hit, forward, 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 music comes in, and it looks like this ball has dramatically taken over the screen, right? So one more time. Not impossible to do in Canva, not easy to do in Canva, a little more complicated. So you're just able to really get those precise precision cuts and movements in a program like DaVinci Resolve that you're probably not going to be able to do in some of the other editing platforms. You could get pretty close, and sometimes close is all you need to get. But if you really need something to be exact and precise, that's when you might want to use a platform like DaVinci Resolve. But what we have talked about today primarily is the fact that you probably don't need DaVinci Resolve. You probably need to just start keeping things a little bit more simple. You really might want to think about the easiest video there is to produce, and that's one that doesn't stop rolling. Start the camera and finish it when the video is over. No cuts, no edits, no problems. Keep it simple. That's really the key to getting your video editing done. The less you have to edit, the easier it is to get that work done, and the more likely that you are to be actually completing these projects and getting them online. And that is the goal. Don't do a thing that's just going to prevent you from actually completing it. So what I mean by that is, if the video edit that you have in mind seems too complicated in your mind, then achieving it in reality is probably going to be really hard. That's when you might want to phone a friend or call a production company to help you out. But for the content that you need to produce for your social media channels, you're going to want to keep it simple. Keep it light, keep it easy, and try to think of something with the least amount of cuts, the least amount of graphics, the least amount of whatever it is possible, because that is going to make it the easiest to achieve. All right, I hope this has motivated you a little bit to get some of those video clips off your phone and onto a timeline and maybe onto a social media page before the end of the day. That's a good challenge. I'm going to be sticking around for a little bit on Google Meets as soon as we finish this live stream. That will allow any of you to ask your specific questions. Say you're editing a project right now and you can use a little help with that. I am here to give you a little bit of that help. And if you want to go down the road of learning how to do some more complex editing, some of these things, then you should consider joining us for our next webinar, our workshop. That's going to be this one here. If you go to our learning page, the first one, the next one coming up is February 19th. It's a Thursday. We will be at our office on Government Street, and you can come and join us, and we're going to be talking about how to do what we talked about today, how to create a smarter, sleeker, easier editing process for yourself. So it'll be from 10 to 4. We're going to have some breaks. Don't worry, we're not going to be sitting in chairs all day. And you'll, more importantly, have the time to ask your specific questions. Our workshops are always limited to just 5 people, so that way each person can have some real one-on-one time. I begin by asking you, what is your goal here? What are you trying to achieve? Because that's really important. Everyone's editing needs is different. And that's going to be based on what you are trying to achieve. Are you trying to produce a podcast? Are you trying to create social media videos for your business? Are you trying to be an influencer? I've had that come across my desk a few times. Whatever it is you're trying to do, we can help you do it. And we can help you come up with a solution that's going to be sustainable and repeatable. Because again, that is the key to getting all of this editing done. If you don't come up with a process that is sustainable and repeatable, you're just not going to get it done. And that's the reality. So I hope you have enjoyed this webinar today, and I really appreciate you joining us. We come here on the first Wednesday of every month with a different topic every time, something related to video and the editing process, generally speaking. However, we do kind of go off script. I think our next one is going to be about interviewing. That's going to be really interesting, especially if you're interested in podcasting. I have a lot of people that come to me with questions about podcasting, and my actual literal superpower is interviewing people. So we'll talk a little bit about that next month, and I hope to see you there. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll catch you next time.